Okay, TeSeS, congratulations on your first win at Blast Rivals. It felt fairly straightforward against FaZe, but at the end of the Ancient game, that force buy towards the end, that kind of shifted it all around.
Yeah, it definitely did. Felt like on the first map we had a really good grasp on them, and then on the ancient, things got a little bit close city side, and then they kind of actually got quite far ahead and somehow pulled back. And as you said, the force buy was able to make the comeback a much easier for us.
It seemed like, since you got Nico and m0NESY, you just seem to pull out these games out of your back pocket. But you also had some big games yourself lately, and of course, I want to go back to that Melbourne final. I mean, it must have been so heartbreaking for you guys, to not be able to close it out. I saw on Twitter you were even saying how it was yours, that was yours for the taking. Just tell me about how difficult it was to accept such a loss.
It was not that hard. It was really hard the first 5 hours. But then we had a few beers and we talked all together and we were hanging out and we were kind of just everyone thinking about the rounds and how it was from the outside, that this final was really hyped up and there was so many clutch moments and hype moments. I probably had the most hype moment in my whole career in that game when m0NESY won the 1v1 after the 3-round comeback in the overtime. I've never been that hyped before, and I just started remembering these situations, and then I was like, okay, this was a fucking cool game, and it was not just the loss and so on. Yes, really annoying, but I was more hyped than sad, and I want to take this kind of hype with me to the next tournament, and now we're just gonna do it here.
As I was saying, a lot of big games from you, especially, towards that in the playoffs. I don't know, one of your best performances for sure in your career. Obviously, end result maybe not what you would have hoped, but it just seems like you've found a different level in this new Falcons squad. What is that down to?
I think, of course, when Dexter was here at the last tournament in Bucharest, I was also putting up good numbers in the playoffs. But at least with m0NESY on the team, I can feel there's a little bit more less pressure on me for having to put up big numbers and doing really good. And somehow it helps me, and I'm more comfortable and so on. And now my main focus is to make the most space possible in the team, and that's what I'm the best at, and just creating the space for Nico and m0NESY and other teammates. So that's just my main focus.
But it also seems like maybe you're not in quite the same position as you were, let's say, in the previous team without Nico, where he's more of the opener, he's maybe taking a lot of the responsibility on himself. You're actually wearing a lot of clutches back in Melbourne, won a couple of them as well. So yeah, it just seems like you are kind of at home with this kind of role that you have in Falcons.
Yeah, it's of course a different role, but I still consider myself coming in the pack, and when we are starting to execute some sides, then I'm going first, and in clutch situations, usually I also go first, and yes, there was a lot of clutches in Melbourne somehow, but that's something that I have to get better at in my game, and we'll see how it goes in the future. But yeah, different roles from my previous teams for sure. I'm not the map control guy anymore, but I also found a way of making space in my role that I have now, and kind of to help the team a lot, and I'm pretty comfortable with it, yeah.
Tell me also about heading into this tournament. Of course, it's so close after Melbourne, and yeah, you guys traveled just yesterday, and I'm sure it's maybe it's not been the easiest, coming such a long way and then resetting so quickly, heading straight into the next game. But I mean, energy-wise, so far, it's felt like you don't have any problems. How are you guys feeling?
We have a couple of guys feeling it. I actually think our staff is feeling the worst, but that's kind of lucky. Also with myself sleeping really good and kind of adjusting pretty fast and trying to do everything possible to adjust. So for me, it has been pretty easy, and yes, it's the craziest travel I have tried, at least, going from Australia and then back to Denmark to play the day after. That is next level. I've never tried that.
And it's also just been kind of a crazy run for you guys in general, right? I mean, you go from winning Bucharest and then straight into Melbourne just after whatever it was, 2 days with m0NESY or something like that. You go so far there. Just tell me about how this last couple of weeks have been from your perspective, not only from kind of just winning against the odds in Bucharest as well, when the team was just about to change, maybe even kind of against all expectations, and then coming in and seeing just how much better you can even be with m0NESY.
Yeah, hectic couple of weeks, 1.5 practice days, which is crazy when you have a new player. And I just think that we're taking it day by day, and we want to work as hard as we can towards the major and get m0NESY built into the team the right way. And with these officials, we are getting a lot of data and what we need to improve on and so on. But the most we need right now is practice, but we'll get that after this event. And after Dallas, there's some time also. So it's going to be fine for the major, and I think that we're going to see a really high level on the major. Yeah.
So can you just tell me how you're approaching this tournament then, considering how quickly it came after all this as well? I'm sure you guys see that you are competitive, and you're always going to be in a chance to beat all these big names, but is there a bit of a different approach now?
We talked about it today in the team talk, where if you start expecting that we go to final and we are this title contender every single tournament, then it's going to go wrong for us. So the main focus is to kind of stay humble and just keep our heads down and work hard. That's the only way we'll get what we want, and that's what we want.
All right, that's a perfect cue to end, I think. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.